Students, awesome. we get students to identify what we call leverages, and these are the most effective parts of the system, or most effective problems to target. So what are the root causes? Let's go after those things, and we call those leverage points. But it could also be potentials, so untapped potentials in the system that can make it better, and these are also leverage points. So we're constantly thinking you have limited resources in this world as an organization, trying to make things better. Where should you effectively prioritize your limited resources? You need to target leverage points. You need a method to understand what are those leverage points. And then you need to understand why are these problematic symptoms occurring. So wrapping up. So leverage points could be, let's target this polluted water. How about we solve that, and then sort of we don't need plastic bottles. It's more complex than this, but I don't have time for that. And then we're all about developing interventions, system interventions. So these are like solutions, but we say system interventions because they don't fix things, they just improve things. So you're going to see from the students, what is the current situation today in Ås? Why are these problematic symptoms occurring? What's the desired future? What are the leverage points we should target? And then some of their ideas for targeting those leverage points. So one of the things we could do is actually learn from nature, and a very cheap way of treating polluted water is wetlands. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than water treatment plants. So we're all about trying to help you get towards more effective solutions to deal with the real problems. And that's systems-oriented design. And that's what we sought to teach the students. Yeah.
Okay, keep the applause going for Abel. Thanks. Yes. Abel's been essentially the systems-oriented design coach of the whole class, giving each team a lot of design mentorship. So now we have, you might have seen him arrive in the Cape. We've got Martin Løken from the Green Party and the Ås Deputy Mayor, and he's going to talk a bit about what Ås could be from a political perspective. Yeah, so give him a round of applause. And you just use this and hold it like chest tight.
Okay, yeah. Like this.
And feel free to walk around because you don't need the projector.
So glad to be here, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I've been peeking into your project, some of you, and I'm very impressed. I think it's really cool to see how you work with different topics like the Orungen and food waste, and also the local food systems. So I will not be able to be here the whole day, unfortunately, because as you can see, I'm probably in a different setting, a different world right now. I just ended being a different role. I'm usually the deputy mayor, and I'm the head of the board doing planning or physical planning in Ås. But 10 minutes ago, I was the innkeeper in a medieval inn, serving wine to the inhabitants of a medieval village. And while I was biking here, I was thinking, what does that have in common with what you are doing? That's always interesting, you know, to reflect on how different worlds collide or meet. And it's all about, you know, fiction. How about to see a future that does not exist and create that future or create that reality? This we do in role-playing games like LARP, but you also do it in your projects. You vision something and you are putting up the milestones to get there, you know, as we are creating a different world in our role-playing society out there on Frydenhaug at this moment. Teaching kids how to make iron, or how the process of iron making was back in the day. And there is a lot of robbers in this world where I'm coming from now, and they are threatening the village. They are robbing people everywhere, and the inhabitants of the village, they have to get swords. They have to get iron, they have to cut down trees to get charcoal in order to extract the iron ore, extract the iron, and then wield the iron together into swords so they can defend themselves. And that made another parallel. It seems that the most prevalent feeling in our society is fear. And I think that does something with us. Fear of not being accepted, fear of maybe losing a game or something. And I think that does something with how we treat the world. And I think that also is one of the core problems of today. And that makes us see a lot of problems occurring in the natural world regarding to equality and justice. And I think we need to solve that core problem before we can do anything else. And that starts with us. That starts with something as hippie as love, but not in the erotic sense, but in the, the common sense, that we need to care about each other in a bigger sense, and also see the systemic change, as is your name of your course. Because we care naturally about our friends and our family, but it's harder to care about people on the other side of the planet, or people that is not even yet born, or even yet further, nature or animals from which we not naturally necessarily feel the same compassion. But we need to get there in order to make this world as prosperous and eternally beautiful as we want it to be, right? And that is also the political project I'm in. This is what I and the Green Party want to do. And a lot of the work is getting that into physical action, into concrete points, voting, and getting people together to actually do that. So how do you do that in a political context? My perspective is that a lot of people want good things to happen, and they actually are eager to do it, but often they don't know how. So a lot of the work we need to do, I think, is to facilitate for great things to happen, because people have this already in them. So what I started to do more and more is to get people together to discuss and to actually listen to each other before we do the decision making. Often we get into a political meeting, we clash together, we beat each other up with arguments, and then we go and be like, oh, so you're not going to vote for my proposal, I'm not going to vote for your proposal. We don't understand each other. So this is stupid. So we need to talk together, and we need to cooperate, and we need to try to understand each other. That is the basic bullet point I want you to take from this speech. We need to try and listen and understand so we can move on. I think that's the most important point. I want to wish you good luck with your projects. I'm very excited, and I want to see the reports after. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you, Martin. I want to join your medieval town for sure. So yeah, I'll find my cape. And I hope the kids will learn something from it. Awesome. We'll see you. Okay, are you ready for, after all that big hype? I'm like boiling ready for the first actual student presentation, yeah? Are you all ready?